hair is growing back. Oh my God. Like my hair is totally growing in. The first thing that started coming back was my eyebrow. And I feel like that started at like week 3 or 4. It was really freeing to just let my body go into healing mode. It's like really taken me to a new level. Just felt so empowering, and it was so great for my confidence. So that's been really wonderful, and that's been a huge gift.
Thank you so much. I'm really glad I'm on this program. In the morning when I wake up, I used to have so much fatigue, headache, running nose. I would not be in a position to focus on anything, and it goes on throughout the day. It's a game changer for me. It has improved the quality of my life to a great extent, and including my sleep. These days, I'm just going and looking for hairs in the bathroom or in the wash basin. It's nothing there.
Welcome back to the Alopecia Angel podcast. I'm your host, Johanna Dullman. Today, we're going to be talking about what my life looks like 9 years post-alopecia. This is me post-alopecia areata and telogen effluvium, which alopecia areata has never come back after 9 years. Even with COVID, even with stressful times of moving to one country and another. Actually, I moved to 3 different countries, from the Netherlands to Japan and back to the US in 3 years. And it was a really rapid fire, and it was a lot of stress. And still, no alopecia areata came back. This is also after a pregnancy at 40. The thing is that I live and breathe today everything I teach. Everything I teach, which is inside the Hair and Heal program, I live and breathe it. And I implement it more and more each and every day. There's always more to do. And I like to compare working on me, working on my health, working on my hair, just like maintaining a home, just like maintaining a car. We're so good at getting those regular oil checks, at going to the mechanics once we see the light engine come up and flashing and making a noise. We're so good at taking care of emergencies like the leak in the roof, or let's say the AC went out, which actually happened to me like 2 years ago, or anything of this nature when you're like in 100-degree heat for weeks on end and there's no air conditioning. We're so good at dealing with a reactive state of mind. But what I've taken in turn is to be proactive. Now I'm proactive, not just with the maintenance of my car or my home, but also my own maintenance. And so a lot of times we hear that the myth of hair loss is because of age. And this is a lie. It's an absolute myth. It's not because of age. It's because of how we've chosen to age. It's how we've chosen to live. It's how we've chosen to be reactive or not proactive in our own situation and health. And going back to, how I live inside the Hair and Heal. So let's say you're a student. You have everything I do even now and more within, let's say, the biohacking hair loss course that I also have. Outside of that, I continue to look and do more and try and test and trial. Because the thing is, just because you're healthy now doesn't mean that we can just ride in this coasting sensation of just doing nothing more and just coasting. And that's where a lot of times people think, oh, because I'm young, I'm so healthy and I can do whatever I want and it's not going to affect me. But let's go ahead and look at the other side of the coin. In my practice, I'm seeing more and more young people affected by alopecia at greater astonishing rates. It's not the case anymore where youth is everything or that youth makes you bulletproof. More and more, I'm seeing women in their 20s, young men in their 20s, young teenagers, everything from like 12 all the way to 19 have alopecia and various types of hair loss. I'm seeing young children below 10 years of age, 8 months old, 2 years old with alopecia. Not just the 82-year-old, not just the 66-year-old or the 50-year-old or the 40-something-year-olds or the 30-something-year-old. I'm also seeing a large part of young people more and more reach out to me, more and more try to understand what's going on, more and more want to heal themselves, whether it started recently or whether it started when they were children or whether it's something completely new and recently diagnosed. What I would say is many times, A, we want the quick fix, and B, we also think it's just doing this for a short amount of time and we're done. You're not done. You're never done. That's like saying you're done with school once you graduate high school. No, that's not true, right? Because you have college if you choose to go to college. Maybe you want a higher education after that. Or maybe you just want to keep on researching and learning and be your own scientist. And the thing is that whether we choose a formal education or not, life is always giving us a lesson. We are always learning each and every day. As a parent, I'm learning each and every day. As a female in my mid-40s, I'm learning each and every day. Not just because there's new research, but because there's new learnings to be had. If you don't grab onto the new learnings, if you don't grab on to more education, you will be stuck, stagnant, or perpetually regress, perpetually decline, perpetually do less, be less, have less, know less. And so knowledge is power, but then also implementation is so effective as well. Just like going to the gym. The gym is available to everybody, right? Everybody around the world, in any part of the world. The gym is available, whether it's with membership or not, whether it's through a community or not, but there is a gym, there is a way to work out. And yet we have these rising rates of obesity. And yet we have over 40% of the population in the US alone that is overweight. And yet we have so many health conditions and problems that are correlated to being overweight. And so the thing is, it's not about putting excuses, but it's actually looking at what's possible for us and taking that action and moving into it, leaning into it. So in my case, having been 9 years, going on to 10 years, alopecia free, I live and breathe. I walk the walk and talk the talk. So I teach you everything that I live now. My child lives and breathes the Hair and Heal program by default, because I want him to be the best version of himself sooner rather than later. My husband has also acclimated to it. And this is how I become bulletproof. I become an absolute repellent towards any type of hair loss later on in the future. Whether or not I have stressful times, whether or not I have a pregnancy, whether or not it's postpartum, COVID, or anything else, I no longer fear hair loss. I no longer think about hair loss really anymore. I'm in the shower and I know I'm going to have a little bit of hair loss. And that's what happens, because with curly hair, especially, it accumulates over days and weeks, depending on how many intervals you're washing during the week. And then also, of course, because it is curly, it already naturally wants to be more knotty, right? It wants to have more knots in it just by natural default. So you can take control of your hair loss. You can create more hair growth. Last week alone, I was at the salon visiting my hairstylist, Autumn. Autumn, thank you so much. And she did a fantastic job of my hair color and covering up these grays and everything naturally. And at the same time, we also took note of how long it had been since my last appointment, which was 2 months ago. And I had grew over 1.5 inches of hair. Over 1.5 inches of hair. On average, I can grow 1 inch, but apparently this last 2 months was only 1.5 inches. But that's still a lot of hair to be had, which is great, because this way it keeps my hair fuller. As you can see, it's really full. It's really healthy. Even with the coloring, it's still very healthy. So there's ways to mitigate. There's ways to improve. There's ways to not just have the immense hair growth that you want, but there's ways to keep it healthy, get it longer, get it stronger and more dense. And this is the beauty of healing from the inside out. This is the beauty of the Hair and Heal program. I wanted to share with you a little bit of my life because I feel that many times people do things with this temporary mindset. And if you go into anything with a temporary mindset, you may not achieve your end goal. So for those of you, let's say, who look back at their long career within education, going from preschool all the way to 8th grade to 12th grade to university and so on and so forth, you may look back and say, oh my gosh, I spent over 12 plus years, 15, 16 years or more, depending on your occupation. And looking back, you wouldn't have fathomed it. But then at the sense of it, once you do accomplish it, it was what it was. It was a step-by-step process, and it happened year by year. And you accomplished it and tackled it little by little. That's, in essence, how you continue to improve, is by small incremental improvements on a daily, monthly, weekly, yearly basis. And they keep on compounding. And when they compound, then your health just improves over the course of months and years and decades. And so this is the beauty of living in a holistic way, living in a way where you are the captain of your ship, you are at the helm, you are the CEO and the driver of your health, your life. This is one thing that we do control. This is one thing where we can utter absolute control over ourselves. And so why not give yourself that chance, that opportunity to be your best from the inside out. Because from there, guess what? I've become a better mother, a better partner, a better team player, a better friend, a better family member, a better everything. I've become a better everything because I was able to focus on me first. And that focusing time and space was 4 years. I know with alopecia areata, a lot of times they say that it's uncertain, that you don't know when you're going to have another vicious cycle. And that too is a myth. It's because what you're using, what you're looking at, what you're choosing to use as a quote unquote treatment isn't effective and isn't going to give you full results long term. That's the other side of it. I'm hosting a free training. It's coming up soon, and I'm going to go ahead and share the link in the show notes. This is exactly my step-to-step process of all the factors that you need to heal, what I've been using, how I heal, and how this has happened, not just for me, but the thousands of people in over 67 countries. I'm going to be showcasing my 3-part free training one last time this year. And this is an in-depth look of what's needed, what you've been using probably that's not getting you results, and what it takes to get to the results. So in 2 to 6 weeks, if you have hair loss, you can stop the shedding on average in 2 to 6 weeks. If you have, let's say, either hair loss or you want hair growth more than at any stage and point, you can start to see hair growth in less than 8 weeks. 90% of my clients see hair growth in less than 8 weeks. These are factors, these are KPIs, these are metrics that we can gauge and track on a regular daily basis. And so this is part of the science, not all of it. Part of the science that I will go into and showcase within this 3-part series training. So I highly recommend that you join me. I encourage you to do this way. You can save time, stop wasting your money, and stop choosing failed treatments that are only going to lead you to disappointment and to having more hair loss and more heartache with it. The other thing I wanted to note about my own journey and about healing and having just better hair each and every year is that there's always more to do. So, for example, I live in an older home. It was built like in the 1970s or 80s. And so it's not going to run like a home that was built in 2025. But even then, I have a girlfriend who does live in a home from 2025. And there are still issues that have happened because of the builder, that have happened because of just the newness of the building, and it's still getting settled with the foundation and so on and so forth. So whether you have an old home or a new home, or in this case, whether you're older or whether you're younger, there's always more work to be done. Just like there's always more maintenance to be done. And there's always more things that you can be doing to improve the quality of your home, of your roof, of your car, of everything else. And the same goes for your health. But this is going to require a proactive approach versus a reactive approach. Just because you are seeing this leak in your home for the first time doesn't mean that it wasn't there already. For example, I actually went through this myself. There was a leak underneath the deck, and I heard a little bit of water, and it sounded like a little river. And I was like, this is so odd. It's underneath the deck, but yet I hear a river of water. So we had to open up the deck, and all of a sudden we saw that like this hose outlet was open, but it had already been open for weeks, going and opening and maybe sputtering a little bit here and there. But then over the weeks, it just loosened and loosened. And now I could hear a full-on little river flowing through underneath the deck. Whereas before, potentially a month before or 2 months before, it was just dripping 24/7. So in that same vein, understand that a lot of times our health problems that we're going through today aren't just from today. They were building up from a while ago, from months, years, decades ago. And in my own situation, I look back and I'm able to connect the dots. And I think that's the most important thing, is that you start to understand your own dots and your own connections, your own blind spots, your own triggers, and your own full picture as to where you are and where you want to go and how to get there. And this will happen all in the free training. So I encourage you to join me. I look forward to seeing you there. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out anytime at hello@alopeciaangel.com. This free training will give you so much information that I wish I had going through alopecia more than 9 years ago. I look forward to seeing you then. Take care. Thank you for listening to the Alopecia Angel podcast, a positive light in healing alopecia. You can do this and we can help. Spread the word that reversing alopecia is possible by telling your friends and family.